Alright, this is going to be about confidence interval sample size. And so when people are doing polls and they want a margin of error of 3%, let's say, they need to know how many people to survey. So margin of error is equal to everything after the plus or minus sign. And so in these problems, in example number 1, the margin of error is supposed to be 3%. And in order to get Z star, if we think about this, if 90% is in the middle, that means that we have 5% on each side. So Z star is going to be inverse norm of 0.05, 0, 1, which is 1.645. And we're looking for n, so I'm going to leave n like that. So the question is, what am I going to put in for p? Well, the biggest number to put in for p, as far as that goes, is if I put in half. Because if you think about it, or the standard deviation is going to be biggest if p are both equal to 0.5. So we need to solve this equation. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both sides by 1.645. And I may as well also multiply 0.5 times 0.5, which turns out to be 0.25. So then I'm going to square both sides. So in my calculator, I'm going to do 0.03 divided by 1.645 and square it. And it gives me such a low number, it's 3.3 times 10 to the negative fourth equals 0.25 over n. Because when I square this side, the square root disappears. So now I'm going to multiply both sides by n. So 3.3 times 10 to the negative fourth n is equal to 0.25. And now I divide by 3.3 times 10 to the negative fourth. And this number is already in my calculator, so I'm just going to do 0.25 divided by that answer. And it turns out that n is equal to 751.6, or 0.7. In these problems, we always want to round up to the next person to make sure our margin of error is good, so I would want to ask 752 people. Let's try this again for number 2. So in number 2, we still got the 3%. This is still going to be 0.5 times 0.5 divided by n. But this time with the 95 percentile, we have 2.5% on each side. Which means I'm going to do inverse norm 0.025, 0, 1. And when I do that, I get the answer of 1.96. So, divide both sides by 1.96. 0.5 times 0.5 is 0.25. Square both sides. And so we got 0.25 over n equals 2.37, 2.34 times 10 to the negative fourth. So I'm going to do the same two steps that I had in the last problem. So this winds up to be 2.5 divided by that number. So 0.25 divided by answer means that this time I would have to ask 1,067 people. So in order to be more confident, I had to ask more people. We went from 752 to 1,067.1, which means I'm going to round up to 1,068 people. Last one, we're still looking for a 3% margin of error. Still 0.5 times 0.5. And this time we're going for 99%, so we're going to even ask more people, which means that is going to be 0.5%, which means I'm going to do inverse norm 0.005, 0 and 1. And that's going to be 2.576. So this side is going to be 0.25 divided by n. 0.03 divided by 2.576. And then I'm going to square both sides. So 0.25 over n turns out to be 0.03 divided by 2.576 squared is 1.356 times 10 to the negative fourth, which means n equals 0.25 divided by that number, which gives me now 3,686.5, which means we got 3,687. So depending on how confident you want to be, determines how and what your margin of error. If I would have changed the margin of error, that also would have changed these numbers. So 3,687 people is what I'd have to call for the last one. Alright, start working on the assignment at the bottom of the page or the worksheet I handed you the other day.